I feel like I've made it, you know, like I've reached this place that I didn't know I was trying to get to. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, and just straight to the point today, we're doing a single shadow declutter. I just decluttered all of my eyeshadow palettes, and so I went down from 27 to 11, yay! And I'm just generally trying to like downsize so I can let go of things so I eventually don't need to pack them when I move in a year. And I was inspired to do this whole thing because my husband is moving to his state for residency training, and he's packing super light, and that was so nice, and I definitely cried a little bit today. Suck it in. I wanted to mention at the beginning that I did already declutter 8 single shadows. I'll throw up a picture of that here. And I gave this to one of my real life friends because I was decluttering, and so I invited her over to see if she wanted anything. And she made this cute little neutral palette. And this is funny because she opened up this palette, which has Pan Those Eyeshadows pans, and she was like, these look exactly the same. And I'm like, girl, you're right. That's why I don't need all of them. Side note, if y'all are looking at my Katsuki dangle earrings, which make me feel powerful, you know where I got them. It's from shopbeautybyjasminian.com, and I have a code to get you extra money off. All of that will be in the description box. These are only $10. I cannot believe it. So having said everything I need to say, let's get into the decluttering part. All right, here are all of my single shadows. I have like 2 larger size ColourPop palettes that are filled with various items, and this little like Sephora one that I showed y'all already in the beginning of this video. This is the Alamar Cosmetics Reina del Caribe palette, but I depotted it, so I treat these as singles. These are my Sydney Grace singles, and these are my JD Glow. So before I even start, let's establish the goal today, okay? And so my goal is just to declutter like this entire palette's worth of singles, so that way I can actually get rid of like a singular large item in my collection, which is like the overarching purpose of all this. So first, let me take a look at my JD Glow shadows. I am absolutely not decluttering any of these, so we can just set that one to the side. In this little Tarte palette that holds 9 shadows, I have 9 Sydney Grace shadows, and I'm inclined to keep all of these too. Actually, there are a few in here that I'm not the biggest fan of, but I mostly wanted to just like declutter like ColourPop within one palette. That makes it easier to resell for y'all who are interested in it too. I just like to keep like with like in general. That's just how my brain works, and I feel like some of y'all are the same. But anyways, I'm gonna keep my Sydney Grace. Yep. Okay, and then this little travel palette of mine is super curated down, so I'm gonna keep it too, but I just wanted to show it to y'all for the point of having at least a few of my ColourPop and this Alter Ego shade. This is Natasha Denona. But anyways, I'm gonna be keeping this because these shadows are in my Pan Those Eyeshadows for this year. So here's what we're left with. Let's turn the ColourPop palettes around. Okay. And I also have the Reina del Caribe, which I'm inclined to keep as well. Maybe I'll declutter or just like throw out maybe this orange shade because it's like so busted. We'll see how much room is in this ColourPop palette when we're done, and if there's room I can just slip this in there as a bonus. But otherwise I like all of the other shades. Okay, and already we're down to here. I'm gonna keep this succulent packaging because I have another palette that is like an empty palette with this Kathleen Lights packaging, so I'm just going to let go of this one. I'm gonna pick out some definite keep shades. On this side, I have just a bunch of singles, and all of these shadows are from palettes, which is why the pan size is smaller compared to their full-size singles. And these have various shades from the I Think I Love You, the Honey, Dream Street, Sweet Talk. It's just a little collection, a little amalgam of shadows from several palettes, and each one is marked on the back where they're from. So this one says UHH, which is for Honey, and like this one is DS for Dream Street. So I don't know, if any of y'all end up picking up this palette from my Mercari or something, then you'll know where these shadows are from. Okay, so I'm just gonna pick out like definite keep, which are Glass Bowl, Tea Garden. This is a Natasha Denona single in Morgana that I got from like probably a Allure beauty box forever ago, and this was from an Ipsy, just a cool like slate gray shade. Okay, ooh, I also want to keep Snake Eyes. Notice how I'm picking up all of these shimmery singles, but hey, I just need a few mattes, and then the rest of what makes my looks fun and interesting are the shimmers anyways. I also want to keep Earthshine. Earthshine is a duochrome from the, what was it called? It's My Pleasure, their very first monochromatic palette. And instead of buying the whole palette, I just picked a few of the shades that interested me and I bought them as singles. Speaking of, here's another single that was from the It's My Pleasure palette called Pretty Cruel. And I want to keep this one because it reminds me of the shade Ametrine, I think it was, from the So Jaded palette, another kind of purplish mid-tone shade like this. So I'm gonna keep that one. And everything else is like, I definitely like it. That's why I purchased them, why I've kept them for several declutters by now. But you know, I don't really need them. You know, this lilac shade is also maybe a keep for me. Oh, this one is so good too. This one is Rosé All Day, which is a kind of dirty green shade. But I have a similar shade in the Kaleido Sci-Fi Green palette, also in the BH Cosmetics Lost in Los Angeles. So I'm actually going to declutter this one since I have like replica shades. I also have the Army Green shade in the Kaleido Sci-Fi Green, this kind of mustard yellow, also in the Kaleido Sci-Fi Green. This is like a really sparkly, glittery silver shade, but I have a shade like this in the Nabla Cutie palette. Oh, this is 1111, which is a really nice metallic, but again, I'm keeping like only what are my favorites. I'm not sure if I have this kind of lilac shade anywhere else, so maybe I'll pull that out for now. Otherwise, the rest of these are excellent, but I have replicas. Like I have this kind of cranberry plummy shade in the Alter Ego Daydream palette, and I could go on, but I won't name every single shade replica for y'all. And then let's look on this side, what do I want to keep? I mean, these are like generally neutral colors, and I have like a really, really bright gold color in the Pat McGrath Divine Rose 2 palette. Isn't my recollection of every single eyeshadow I own impressive? I think it's one of my insignificant talents. Yes, I'm quite proud of it. Oh, there's one shade I want to keep, which is this one. This is from the Dream Street palette, and it's that top right shade in the original packaging. My favorite, rose gold. So let's keep that one. I don't really use these kind of turquoise blues a ton, and if anything, I have a blue similar to this in the Raw Beauty Christie palette from ColourPop. I don't have to keep any of these golds because I already have that gold I mentioned in the Pat McGrath palette. I don't really need all these neutral colors because I kept multiple neutral palettes. This brown though, oh no, I don't need to keep the brown because I have this one, which I pulled from the Raw Beauty Christie palette. See, so many replicas. And the little palette I gave my friend looked exactly like this, and even this has replicas within here. So yeah, really downsizing, just streamlining my collection. So you know what, I'm just gonna say declutter all of these. Okay, let's see what I can fit over here. Let's move things over. You know what, I really don't know. I don't think that this is all gonna fit. Ooh, maybe I will be able to keep just a few more shadows. Just a few, you know? So I wanna keep this one duochrome shade from the Sweet Talk palette, and it's like a pinkish gold duochrome. It doesn't look that incredible on camera, but I do use this one occasionally, even though it's more orangey, which is not usually my jam. This from the I Think I Love You is just like a nice, like champagne-ish, goldish toned highlighting shade, so I could get good use out of that one too. If I'm pulling out this magnetic palette, I would prefer not to reach into anything else if I can help it. Instead of trying to fit everything in here, maybe I will just put singles in this little one that holds 9 pans, and then keep all the little ones over here. Yeah, and this is still like a good number to declutter. And let me pick one more like full-size one to put in here, and then I'll keep the rest of these because I really do use them. And especially if this is all I'm left with, I'll use them a lot. Oh, this is 1111. Oh, that's so nice and pink and pretty. Wow, that's really pretty. Okay, what about this one? This is Lust in Time. What is that really what it's called? Yeah, this one's a little deeper of a metallic, which I don't use as much. So let me throw that in there and look at that. It's a nice little palette of ColourPop singles. Okay, so since I decided to put the full-size singles in another palette, I am going to put this Sweet Talk shade back in here. I'm gonna arrange it by color, of course, because you'll know how if it's not like that, it quite bothers me. Maybe I can put, I'll just put this I Think I Love You highlight shade back to, oh my gosh. So other than just this like single rose gold shade from the Dream Street palette, I am just gonna let go of all of these. Well, I mean like literally I'm letting go of all of them, and I let go of half-ish of my ColourPop singles. And what I have left, let me just arrange into here. And I might even throw like my Sydney Grace maybe in here, or the Alamar palette, so that way I can just see those more and therefore use them more. Oh, that's perfect. Wow, would you look at that? We did even better than what I set out to do, because instead of just getting rid of one packaging, like one physical item in my possession, I emptied out 3. This is empty. I'm still gonna own this, but it's a nice thing to have if I want to make like a custom palette for the week or something like that. So I can kind of pull from here and there and take my own creative liberties with it. And then these 2, this is with the ColourPop singles shadows, like the full single shadows. And then this is from the Depotted palettes. Getting rid of these 2 as well. So all in all, here are all of the single shadows that I'm left with in my possession. Oh, that's so nice and curated. Isn't that so nice? Isn't that so satisfying? Aren't you glad you watched this video? In my time, I've owned so many different eyeshadows, palettes, singles, all of it. And to come to this point where I can truly curate it down like this, it feels good. I feel like I've made it, you know, like I've reached this place that I didn't know I was trying to get to. Ta-da! Wasn't that productive? Let me know if I have inspired you to declutter as well. I've been getting a ton of comments on my eyeshadow palette declutter that I am just raising this flame within y'all to let go of your old material things as well. The things you're not using, of course. I hope you'll have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching and spending your time with me. And I would extra be thankful if you left a comment down below, because I love talking to y'all. Otherwise, remember that y'all are my treasure. Find the beauty in every day, but most importantly, be kind to yourselves. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.